Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to That Flavor in Your Ear podcast, season 2, episode 3. I'm here with your boy, Too Nice.
Yes.
All right.
And it's 10:30 in the morning.
Listen, I already made the introduction, so we're going to keep it that way. I'm nervous, man. We got people in the background, never shot like that before, but I'm feeling good because I've been waiting a long time for this podcast. This energy that we've been missing from the podcast. We get a lot of people here with a lot of different stories, but I feel like your story, it comes with an energy that is unmatched.
Oh man, thank you.
So I've been really excited and really looking forward to hearing this story. And like I said, we always start. It's a motivational podcast, so yeah. We hope that your story inspires someone that wants to do. You're a jack of all trades. You do a lot of different things.
Wow.
So we're hoping that it inspires someone that is in between one of those trades, or maybe isn't all of them, right? Because a creator is a creator, and you're a person that seems like you create a lot of things. Right, and there's positive to that. I don't have any of what you have, so,
but you got a lot of magic.
But I admire it.
Yes,
right, and we hope someone out there that sees what you do and is inspired. And you need to follow him on Instagram because if you get on there like at 7 a.m, this guy's already on like 3 cups of coffee.
Yes,
he'll wake you up already.
No, just one, because if I take 3, I'll probably jump out the balcony.
Yeah, I don't want to see you with 3, bro. One seems like your energy.
Well, you don't want to see him with 3 coffees, but you want to see him with 3 whiskeys.
With the whiskeys, yeah.
Ay. Dios mío.
Okay, so I was told by a close friend of the show that was on the show, Sofla. Okay, he said we need to start. That your story should start somewhere in the Baja Panti area.
Baja Panti, wow.
That's where we should start. If it doesn't start there, it's not going to be a good show.
Well, then let's start right there. Then
let's start right there.
Baja Panti. Well, we'll transition into Baja Panti, but what led to Baja Panti was my great brother, mentor that's right here, right now.
Look at those cameras, bro.
Platano in the building, you know what I mean? It started as a hype man, started as, just coming to these parties. Actually, shouts out to my brother. Shouts out to Thomas. Shouts out to Calero. Shouts out to all my older brothers' friends that would sneak me out of the house. Yep. To go to these parties.
So if I did say you were the youngest.
Yeah, I was the youngest one in the party. Only one admitted in the party. Right. Like, how's this little guy inside and we're still in line?
Yeah.
But thanks to the conglomerate from back in the day, but they would sneak me out my house, man, to go battle, to go dance. It started also as a hype man, like I was saying with Platano. And he would have a little segment for me in his show set where I would just come and shake my legs and do this thing like that. You can't see it because there's a little big table right here. Table. But I would go and shake my legs like that, and the people would go crazy. And that was like the introduction to like that entertainment world where, I don't know, back in high school, I would be at all the pep rallies. I would be friends with all the basketball players. I would be painting on shirts, on garments back in high school. So I would have, that thing going on. And then out of nowhere, it just kept going and going and going and going. So Baja Panti was like almost like the beginning stages of like the entertainment world for me, and seeing what it's like to be in front of the crowd, seeing what it's like in front of performing.
Yeah. And that's a special gift, bro.
Yeah.
You got to have it.
I guess.
Because it comes natural.
To me, it comes natural. Yeah. So I don't really see the majority of the things that I do like that because it's natural. I just do it. Yeah. But I've gotten that too, one thing too. Shouts out to Mike too. Can't forget about Mike. That's, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Mike has your collabo from the 99 and 2000. He's big. He's a big part of that too, the Baja Panti movement. And man, I would say like it was just the stepping grounds. Those are the first beginning steps of me being able to see and endure what the entertainment world was all about. Right. So that's where it is. That's where that was, Baja Panti. You know what I mean? What else, Plat? You can tell me what time? That's how the flat right there. Remind me right quick.
I was told you was like the Chris Brown of the parties. The Chris Brown of Miami parties. At least in Miami. This is a small circle here.
I was the only Miami guy doing Harlem Shakes. Right. Doing the Harlem Shake in here. Shouts out to Pitt too. Pitt would tell me all the time. It was like back in those days, like, look, man, I know you got it. I know you from the Bronx. I know you from New York. Yeah. But over here in Miami, we do the peanut butter and jelly. You need to learn how to do the peanut butter and jelly. And sure enough, man, I did the peanut butter. I learned how to do the peanut butter and jelly. I did maybe like 1 or 2 shows with Pitt back in the day. Oh yeah, my man.
Back in the day.
I say it in the Only in Dade song. Baja, sneaking me out back when Pitt had braids. And a lot of people don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day where Pitt had braids, white tees down to his knees.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, you need to learn how to do the peanut butter and jelly. Sure enough, learn how to do the peanut butter and jelly.
Because I think by the time Around Here came out, he was already low fade.
He cut his hair once he made that transition to like the pop music type of vibe, and then the suits and all of that.
And shout out to Pitbull.
Right?
I met him when I worked at Foot Locker. He came in there with his son, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
That was Dayland, Foot Locker and Dayland. Came in there, was super nice to everybody. No complaints.
Always been.
Was very nice to everybody, very humble. Didn't act like a celebrity. You know, hey, my man, can I get these in a size? Very calm. Like everybody that came up to him that day, he said nice, very nice too. Was a man of the people. You can tell. Wasn't bothered.
And he's always been down to earth like that. He's always been real cool. And that's where it all started, man. I feel like that's where it all started when I got to tour with Platano, when I got to travel the world, when I got to be in front of and build that character and build that confidence on the stage. And it's like what we were talking about before the show. Like like these traits and these things grow with consistency with doing it all the time. You know, if you don't do it all the time, you're going to get rusty. You're going to miss those free throws. You're going to miss, you know, those moments. You know what I mean? So in doing it all the time and being able to travel, being able to be in front of the crowd, being able to like just do it. You know what I mean? There is no ifs, ands, or buts. We can't turn back. I'm not going to show up to the show and be like,
okay, and I wanted to get to that.
I can't perform right now.
I wanted to get to that because I feel your main staple coming up was as an entertainer.
Yeah.
Right? So how was that first show like? Were you like me right now looking at all these people all nervous?
I mean, thinking about it, I'm not going to remember if I was, but I will say that I was just because it's part of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's just going to wake up one day and be like, I could do this. You know what I mean? The first time is always going to have that hurdle, and that first time, you know, talking about the views and all of that stuff. Like, I felt like there was one thing that I learned from the beginning stages of being in the entertainment business is whether it's 10 or 10,000, like you always got to give your all.
The same energy.
Right? Yeah, the same energy. So I learned that early. You know what I'm saying? So when it was time for me to even be my own artist or be my own, you know, entity and my own brand, like I knew that if I approach a situation where it's not going to be like what I envision, but I still got to perform like if it's what I envision because it's part of the process.
Right.
So was I nervous? I'm pretty sure I was, but you know,
once it started, you let it rip.
You didn't feel it. Yeah. You didn't see it. I see that.
You see that? You see that?
Yeah, this guy's natural, right?
Right. Once it starts, you let it rip.
Exactly. So once I got on stage, it was almost like once I got to the location where we were going to perform, like everything went away.
Right.
It was like I hear Yuli say it now, like when, like leading up to the fight, the training into the fight, and then once you get into that moment when you're backstage and it's like the zoo,
everything zones out.
Everything
it's
zones out.
It's just tunnel vision. Yeah.
And then you just go on there and just do what comes natural.
What comes natural.
And I was able to learn that from a very young age, man. 14, 15, 16, running around with the movers and shakers, going to these parties and seeing how things happen, the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. You know, because you know it ain't all rainbows.
Yeah, things aren't always perfect.
You know what I mean? So, and even having to deal with that and managing that and learning these things. So, being able to do that with Platt in the beginning of my life, like it was a blessing.
Yeah.
That just prepared me for everything else that was gonna happen.
Okay, I'm definitely excited. I want to talk about. I know you did like a Dipset performance with Dipset.
Recently, yeah.
I'm a huge Dipset fan.
Oh, me too. Hell yeah.
So for me, that was pretty cool to see. What's that experience like? I think Jim Jones was part of that.
Jim Jones
What's
was there.
He like? I love following him on Instagram and just he's always posting his workout videos and going nuts. I grew up in the Cameron, Joel, J.R. Ryder, Hell Rell.
God, yes.
Some people always just mention the top three, but J.R. Ryder and Hell Rell were
J.R. Ryder is fire.
Yeah,
was
agreed.
And still
is. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Once he got out of that bid that he did, like he started dropping some freestyles and started dropping some records, and it was just like picked up right where he left off. But
they just weren't as mainstream in this region of the country.
Yeah.
Like if you go to New York, J.R. Ryder was everywhere on the radio. If
Exactly.
you come here, it's like you had to follow Dipset to know
him.
Were. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, even doing stuff with it's like being rubbing elbows with your idols.
Yeah.
You know, and people that you look up to, people that you've listened to. We fly high, no lie.
Yeah, that was a
you
monster.
know it. Bullet.
Is it safe to say he's turned out to be the best right now?
The best out of what? Out of that group?
Out of that group. Because of the longevity?
I mean, him and Cam have been able to sustain and carry that movement.
The brand,
but and then again, you know, the politics of the music industry is what leads people and what puts people in the position where, okay, this one shines more than the other. Because
I did see Joel's talk about that on Drink Champs.
Oh, yeah?
He talked about the politics of the music.
Yeah, there's a lot of look, that's growing up into the music industry, this is part of the things that you get to learn. Some people don't mess with you, and some people will close the door on you based on the politics. And it's like, yo, but I'm cool over here, and I'm cool over here. Why can't we be cool in the middle?
Yeah.
Nah, it don't work like that and over here.
Yeah.
So even being able to do that show with them and having them and
where did you perform?
It was actually at a skate park here in
the one in downtown?
Yeah.
The one owned by Andrew downtown.
Yeah, actually. So shout out to High Tolerance. Shout out to my friend Joseph. He hit me up and he said, look, I got this event going on, and I think it'll fit great with your brand, and I would love to connect. Which Joseph was a big deal, too, for me when I started my whole Let It Rip season. He was one of the key instrumental components that helped me in the beginning stages, like be able to get back on my feet and be able to visualize like the things that I'm able to do and then like maximize it to my full potential. So, and then circling back around 2-3 years later and him being able to excel in what he was being able to build, give me that opportunity. That was like, yo, I'm all down with it. Plus Jim Jones and everybody's going to be here. Dipset's going to be here. Like, wow.
What's it like seeing him perform and live and in color? Well, you know, okay.
I mean, he didn't perform.
He didn't perform?
No,
But
he
he was
didn't perform,
there.
but
Okay.
he was there. But the cool part about it, which is I got this content and I haven't even put it out. So shout out to Jay Ramirez, Plat Rex, everybody was there. That they actually came around. They came to my booth, to the History Makers booth. We was prepared with like goodies and gifts and things of that nature. They came through. They saw it. We got to elaborate on them, like what History Makers is all about. They were like, yo, this was dope.
Yeah.
So
The
even
name
that,
states, you know.
yo, even having your idols, people that you are groupied about, like, yo, these guys come through, accept it, vibe it, take it with them. That was like a milestone thing for me too. And just being there, being present, having to be there to experience it and to have that connection. You know what I'm saying? I'm super duper grateful. And that event was amazing, man. And them boys is rocking and rolling.
So who else from Dipset performed in there?
No, they didn't perform. They just, what happens is that
They were like the headliners?
High Tolerance, which is like a weed strain. They created a collab with Jewels. They created a collab with Jim Jones.
Is High Tolerance Jim Jones is
He has Knockout.
Knockout. I knew
Knockout
he had
is their strain.
Okay.
Yeah, so he got his own strain produced by High Tolerance.
Okay,
and
that's what it is.
That was the event. So High Tolerance creates these hubs where they have the rest of their strains available.
Got it.
And people can come, mingle, be able to connect with the Joel Santana, with a Jim Jones, with a Too Nice, and be able to, you know, buy their magic and, you know, and do their thing.
That's
and
pretty
connect.
cool, yeah. I knew that they had the whole, I've seen Jim Jones talk about the whole strain stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole big movement happening right now with the magic culture. And I feel like, you know, society, now that they've been able to work through the loopholes,
accept it more too,
work through the loopholes of, you know, it's here, they got dispensaries, they got the smoke shops, and now it's being a little bit more, you know, accepted. They got their movement going on.
Okay, now since we're talking about the music, we're talking about the entertainer.
Ay.
Let's talk about the Only in Dade soundtrack, the one that represents Dade County.
God.
The one that's notorious known around Dade County and all around. It should be known all around the world because Dade County is its own special place, right?
For
I always
sure.
tell people like, oh, you're from Florida. No, I'm from Miami.
Yeah,
That's
there's a big difference.
It's a big difference. It's a whole different place, bro. When people say you're from Florida, like, no, I'm from Miami, bro. Florida is like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
When you cross that Broward County line, everything changes after that. Like, no, well, let's say West Palm Beach. When you cross that everything from West Palm Beach down is a whole different. It's like its own state.
I mean, I won't take the full, you know, credit on that. I would definitely have to say shouts out to Solo D, which is the writer and composer that created the record.
Okay.
I was just, they alley-oop me.
You were the voice.
Yeah, they alley-oop. Not the voice. I don't know. Look, he had the song done. They said, look, I got this song done already. I said, it was crazy meeting too, because we went into the meeting to talk about something that had nothing to do with that. And, you know, shouts out to Only and Dade. They presented the song, and I was like, why don't I just jump on it? You know?
Listen, if you don't want to take the credit for the voice thing, I will give you the credit for the voice thing, because it sounds like a full Miami track. Yeah. Like, it sounds like an Only and Dade track, and that it represents what Dade is, right? And your voice fits the track perfectly.
Oh, thank you, man.
Right?
I feel like there's where the fusion was.
Exactly.
But Solo D created the record. I just was able to enhance the record, and then based on the movement that we have going on, elevate it and get it to, you know, the things that we were able to do.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I have said it enough. So right now, flavor to your ear. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Solo D. He was the one that did that record. I was just able to enhance it.
He did the beat too?
No, he didn't do. His boy did the beat.
Okay.
The original beat. DJ Chris.
Oh, so there was another beat?
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ Chris. Shouts out to DJ Chris. He was the one that enhanced the original beat to be the final beat that was able to be put out to the public.
What was the tweak from the original? Like, was it much different, or like it needed extra oomph?
No, it just needed that Latin flavor that we added to it by adding Too Nice to the record. So in being able to get into the studio with Chris and being able to add the salsa in the beginning, the tinky,
agreed.
And then taking it off from there, and then plus we added some voices throughout the hooks. But we was just able to add that to it, and man, they took it and they rocked out with it, and it's definitely like an anthem.
And this is why I'm gonna give you the credit for the voice thing, right? And why, at least for me. So Solo D, don't be mad at me because I'm influencing this hard. But the reason why I say that is because Alchemist has like a quote where he says, you know, an MC without a voice, you're just a writer, right? A voice needs to be a voice needs to be attached to that artist. Right. Sometimes the artist, maybe the lyrics aren't that great, but he has that voice that sells the track. That's what you have. So somebody wrote that track, produced that track, made that track, but your voice speaks for Miami, right? That voice speaks for us.
Thank you.
Because that's a voice of Miami.
Yeah.
That sound is like that only and then you go into that's a Miami sound.
Yeah.
So there aren't many people that can replicate that. So if you hear the song in Cali, and someone from Cali says, hey, that's a representation of Miami. That's a Miami voice. That's a Miami style. That's a flavor of Miami. So for me, I give you that credit.
Thank you.
I understand what you're doing.
No, it's love.
But for me, the love behind that is saying I understand that why that track is so good and why it represents us so well is primarily because of the voice. The lyrics obviously represent something. The person that wrote that represents Miami, but the voice puts it together. And that's why I say like that quote from Alchemist makes sense. Because he's saying, you know, like you can be a lyrical, you can write down anything on pen and pad. But if you get into the studio and your voice doesn't sell that, you're just a writer. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the attachment of a voice is what's important. Right? And I completely agree with that.
Nah, thank you, bro. And it did what it did, and we was able to do what we was able to do. Like I said, like it was an alley-oop. You know, he threw it off the backboard, and I was just able to just get it and finish it and add that funk. And then at the same time, like we had a lot of movement going on. We had, you know, Yuli Monster already part of the squad. We already had, you know, I feel like the Only in Dade song was it after the 3-second knockout or was it before?
That was before.
It was before the 3-second knockout. So it was like the past 4 or 5 years for me has been. It's been like an uphill progress, right? Where I've been able to also manage and go through speed bumps and go through learning lessons, but mentally being able to be in that space where it's like we're learning through everything that happens, right?
Yeah.
So and then accountability was another thing that I've been able to learn for myself too. Is like everything's my fault, right? And whether it's good or whether it's bad, you know.
Yeah.
Because if I take accountability, I can only fix it from that moment on.
From your standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, I can only fix it. I'm
That
not
makes
going to
sense.
continue to put the blame on somebody else when I can just, you know, find a solution to why that happened.
Right.
So at the same time, we had that going on. We were growing. Yuli was fighting. And it was just been a big movement. And then when Only Dade happened, it was almost like, this is it. And then after that, COVID happened. Wow. So musically, we was like, oh, shit. And
COVID
then
killed everybody.
Only in Dade had the Super Bowl concert. That was like, Super Bowl performance for me because I had everybody there.
Yeah, because I remember going to the Only in Dade comedy show. The song was already out.
Yeah, the song was already out.
song
So
was
then
already
they
out.
started doing that. And then all of this stuff was leading up. And then COVID happened. And then everything just put a pause. So imagine like grinding, finding ourselves, tapping into the music, building the team, seeing what's been happening. And then it's like, do, and then COVID.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about your artistry is that how you blend the Spanish with the English, right? That's important to go from one to.
Bro, I learned that right there. The man's right there. The man, the myth, the legend, right there.
I don't want to look that way because I'm gonna get back to being nervous. I'm trying to avoid looking that way.
Yo, this is going back to what I was telling you. That's where those things happen. I mean, I feel like me musically, like I started with English. I started in the American market. That's where the passion was. The Jim Jones, the Cam'rons, the Busta Rhymes, the Fabulous. That's where. That's where.
That's a unique sound right there.
Man,
no one can do what Busta Rhymes did. Like if you try to place another voice into his sound, his soundtracks, it doesn't. It's only one.
It goes to your voice statement.
Right.
You can have the lyrics, but it's like your voice. Your
can you do what he did,
man?
No, I don't.
So growing up, I was into that. I was into the American music. I was into hip hop, R&B, all of that. And
You just brought your roots into it.
And then what happened was the pit bulls happened of the world.
Yeah.
In those stages, in the beginning stages, being able to do that, and what he went through in his career in the beginning stages. No, you too Latin for hip hop, and you too hip hop for Latin, until he created his own lane.
So you know what's funny about that, and I saw his Drink Champs. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
hell yeah!
I love podcasts.
Shouts out to EFN. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to EFN.
I saw the
and Nori.
episode with you guys with EFN. I follow a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
So I saw his Drink Champs episode, and he brought up something. I think they asked him like, I think he tells a story on when he changed to more pop, and he realized like this hip hop thing is big in this circle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I forgot who he was saying he was watching perform, or who I don't remember who it was. He said he was watching perform, but he said like he realized like, man, I'm thinking so small. This pop thing is international.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that's where your thing connects more around just in here or just in hip hop in general, because you bring that Latin flavor and you mix it with hip hop. That fusion works.
And that's Miami.
Yeah.
That's the Miami.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand about Miami.
100.
Like that's the Miami.
Well, I
Like,
think that's what people love about Miami.
well, they love about Miami.
That's what they love about
But
Miami.
as far as the artistry side of
Yeah.
it, that's what they don't understand. Like there's where the fusion comes, where
Right.
people try to box you into something, but it's like, yo, but that's not the reality of
Yeah.
the culture of where we're at.
Where we're from, yeah.
Yeah, like the culture here is American, Latin, you could Dominican.
Yeah.
You know, it's
a melting pot.
It's that.
Yeah.
So when you have artists like Pitbull, when you have artists like myself, when you have artists like Platano that been able to pave the way for many, 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 many years, and been saying it and have been doing it, consistent with it, like that is like we're not going to form ourselves to what the society or what the industry thinks, you know what I'm saying, is the thing. When over here, this pot is different. This kitchen is
Yeah,
different.
this
Over
is a
here,
melting pot. Everything is mixing.
What's being cooked over here is different than what's being cooked over there in Wisconsin or
Exactly.
in New
Georgia
York, even in
or
Georgia
anywhere,
and in
anywhere.
Cali. This is different. This is Miami.
Yeah, it's its
you
own
know?
flavor.
And here we have that flavor. We have that sazon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So me being able to grow up in that, and being able to implement that in my fashion, in my art, in my music, and even now entertainment with the podcast and the ability to content create and all of that, this is it.
And for the same reasons that you just mentioned, I have a love-hate relationship on Miami, but my love comes from exactly what you just mentioned. The melting pot, the culture of what it is. That's my love for Miami. The hate part is little nuances and intricacies that, you know, if you lived anywhere else, you're going to have a nuance and an intricacy somewhere else where you don't like something, right? But what I love more this than I love, where you don't, people would say, oh, like, when you travel, whenever I've gone places like, oh, Miami people think that Miami's Miami, right? Wherever you go, like, right? Like, we're Miami, like, we're, and I understand, but it's the same shit, like, if you go to New York.
Yeah.
New Yorkers, wherever they go, is, yo, we're from New York.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn.
They
You're a
could
besta.
be in Morocco, and they're like, yo, I'm from New York, son. It won't matter. But I feel like that's what that swag, and even though it's different, it's what makes you where you're from.
Yeah.
And that's somewhat what I love about being here. That's what I think represents us in a way. You call it arrogance, call it cocky, call it ignorance, call it whatever you want, but it's still what makes our city, and I'm somewhat proud of that.
No, so I would substitute those words that you chose like with confidence.
Or
You know what I'm saying?
confidence, yeah.
I'll substitute it with confidence. I feel like there's where we get our confidence from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we build our confidence based on, you know, the repetition and what's around us.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, Miami is one of is one of a kind, bro. It's one of a kind, and it breeds people like us. You know, that we just are able to cook with so much different styles.
Yeah.
And we create our own stuff.
So I have something for you, and I think I already know the answer.
Let's go.
I think I already know the answer.
Let me get that.
What's harder to perform at? And you know, Latinos are always ready to party. You throw a bottle of tequila or something, that's all we need to get going, right? We don't need much. You give us a room, a speaker, and a tequila, and we're ready to go. What's harder for you in terms of like a hip hop audience or a Latin audience? Like what you're already performing your roots in some way. So what do you prefer? Or you just like to blend it?
I mean, ultimately, like, I won't think of the crowd, right? Like, I would think of, like, whether Latin or, like, American. I just like the stage.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So we would formulate the show based on where we're going to go perform. I like both, bro, because I like performing. You know, I like creating a show set for my Latin people. And then I like creating a show set for example, when we did the Dip set, that was a completely different type of style of performance set.
Yeah, just the venue.
Based even the venue based on the Latin side is different. It was different. Circling back around to be able to perform my American style music, or even formulating the show where I'm fusing the Latin stuff that I've been able to create throughout the years, and then now I'm infusing it to some hip hop vibes to be able to fit the venue that I'm about to perform.
Yeah.
Just even going through that process for that particular show was like an obstacle and a fucking amazing thing for me.
Yeah.
To be able to go through that process. I'm a process learning person. Like, we can talk about and have quadrillion meetings and have all of that, but I'm not gonna be able to function if we don't actually bring something to life first and then be like, okay, cool, let's take it from here now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that particular show, being able to infuse like my Spanish records and then just changing it and putting some hip hop foundation under it and doing that. So to ultimately, like, your question is both, bro. I'm ready to get on stage and just let it rip.
Yeah.
I like both. I just like performing. I like the ability. I feel like throughout the transition of finding myself through this Let It Rip season is finding the passion and just being able to make people happy.
Yeah.
Make people happy, make people feel something. I feel like when I perform, that's sort of like my gift to the world. You know what I mean? Like, you may not know me from nothing. People are watching this stuff right now and be like, wow, this is the first time I ever seen this person. But these 30 minutes, these 15 minutes, these 45 minutes that I have to transmit my energy to you, that's the glory. That's the reasoning, and that's the purpose on why. So whether you are American or you Latin, Too Nice is going Too Nice is going to touch you.
Yeah. And I think that's the important thing of an artist, right? An artist is not an artist if you can't gravitate to a group of people. You gotta make them feel, right? In a sense, like, if I listen to you, it's like, what keeps me going past the next 15 seconds, 30 seconds? Like, what gravitates me towards you as an artist?
Well, if you will be seeing me on stage, the answer to that will be my thrusting.
Yeah.
The way that I move my hips.
Yeah.
The way that I captivate you by looking at you in your eyes, pointing at you. These are all traits that I've learned throughout the years.
I don't disagree with that.
And I'm gonna keep pointing over there because, you know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I mean? My mentor, when it comes to the music industry and still be able to be here, like, how do you feel? I feel great.
Yeah.
How do I feel still having the same people that seen me when I was, 13, 14, 15 years old, now at 38, and now being able to have things that, like, have years.
Yeah.
History makers have years. I have 8 years. In August, we cumplimos 8 años with History Makers. My musical career is over 10 plus. and have the same group of individuals that, you know, believed back then. And I feel like I've been able to make them proud throughout the years of the progress that I've been able to grow through. And that to me is also the most ultimate blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we don't really need much. You
And
know what I'm
now-
saying? I don't really need much. I just need the small group that we already have so we can continue to
That's
conquer.
me. I'm small group.
Yeah. No,
I'm a
no,
small
your
group.
crew just got bigger right now, baby. You're a history maker. You
So-
see that across the chest. That means a lot.
So I think this is the perfect time to segue into how you got History Makers, right? What inspired you to make the brand? I kind of have an idea of what.
Let me know. I want to hear it
but
first.
but I want to hear from your words.
No, let me hear your idea first.
Well, okay. So my idea is from what I interpret the brand, right? And this is from an outsider looking in.
That's where I want to
And
get
by
at.
the way, I purchased this motherfucking shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's important for me to say that is this.
It's not a motherfucking shirt. Yeah, don't play me.
This right here means a lot because I say this. It's important that we all support each other, right?
For sure.
Right? I feel like Miami does have a stigma of this. Miami has a stigma that we don't stick together. Everybody's like, well, we're fighting for a loan.
It's because everybody's a superstar.
Exactly. Like everybody feels like they're bigger than the next.
It's Miami.
Right.
That's the pros and the cons of Miami.
Right.
The cons of Miami is that everybody's a superstar based on our lifestyle of what we live here.
Right.
So keep going.
And I say it's important to say, like, we shouldn't ask people for handouts. We shouldn't ask somebody for free. We know when I see your Instagram and I see your stories, I say this guy puts a lot of work and energy into this brand, into what he's trying to represent as a brand in total, right? So I feel like me saying, hey, can you bring me a shirt is a slap in the face,
Yeah.
right? Me not just saying, hey, I'm going to order the shirt, pay for it because I want to support you means more to me. And means me saying that I respect what you're doing. I respect your brand. I see you every day making new photo shoots, new clips, new T-shirts, new product, and pushing it. And I say, what better way for me to support you than to say, I respect you by not asking you for it, but saying, I want to purchase it because I know it helps you and supports you. And I want to know that, like, I want you to know that I respect it that much. Asking, I feel like when we ask somebody for something, it's like you're always asking, like, you don't see the work that goes into it. I feel like a true friend doesn't ask you for something. They say, let me support you. Because when a friend is your friend, they know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that, right? And me and you maybe have not known each other prior to this, but I see it by everything that you do. And I'm inspired by the brand by saying where you're at and what you do is what I want to hopefully have the confidence to do. Right. So when I see you, I say, hopefully I can get the confidence to push that product the way he wants to, or be more outgoing the way he is, being more extrovert the way he is. And that's what I get about the brand. So the brand itself states itself, History Makers, right? So I feel like it applies to anybody. You can make history if you just do what you're good at. Stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at, and the brand sells itself. Like the title for me as a personality. So when I say I bought this motherfucking shirt, it means something to me.
Yes.
Because I say I understand what he does for this brand, and I say I'm glad that I can support you. And this ain't gonna be the only shirt I buy. I'm gonna continue to support the brand, continue to buy. And why I emphasize it that way is because I want you to buy it. I want the people to see this to buy it. Right?
Yeah, we got a live audience, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We got a live audience
So,
in here.
so I want them to buy it because you're supporting one of our own. If we from Miami say we're from Miami and this is a Miami thing, I want us and ourselves to say, why are we not supporting Miami?
Yeah.
This is Miami. So this is Miami. So we should support it. And that's why I put the emphasis on it because it's important that way.
Oh no, thank you, man. And to that, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you just said, it is what it is. And thank you so much. And I greatly appreciate you being able to, you know, do what you did. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like your care package is gonna come regardless. In your package, you got a little bit more than
Correct.
what you know what I'm saying? Because that
Is love.
I feel like there is where that is.
Yeah.
You know, if you go the step to do what you did, I'm gonna go the extra step to be able to like to reciprocate that because I also appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just about the gear, but History Makers is a movement. We were never created to live an average life. We were created to be history makers. History Makers represents positivity, motivation, believing in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, everything. You telling me before we start the show that you nervous because of the group, you wearing that shirt is going to help you get through that. Why? Because it's not only the shirt.
That's a valid point.
It's going to start here.
Yeah.
Because once you feel it here, as you do, it's going to trickle here. And once you do here, that's it.
Yeah.
The mindset of the fears and the this and the, all that goes away.
Yeah.
Once you understand that you're a history maker and you have a gift too, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all gifted here because we're here. We're gifted because we're here. Like you as you are. You know what I mean? And through this process, you're going to continue to develop the qualities that you right now may not, you feel you don't have, but you have.
Yeah.
Because it's already here. You know what I mean?
It's just more about the confidence
and you're gonna
the ability to
listen to me with consistency and believing that you're gonna continue to get better because you're gonna get better, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna happen. Right now you say, yo, I'm a crew of one. Not no more.
Yeah. Well, this
You're
is
a history maker now.
That
You're part of the community now, baby.
I identify when you say the brand, I say I think about this a lot. And I think about it even when doing the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say we're alive for, on an average, I think like to 80 years old, right? I think like that's what the U.S. average is.
Nah, shouts out to my grandma. She's 103 years old right now. Shouts out to Abuela. I love you.
Shout out to Abuela.
She's the queen of the Bronx. My dad's over there right now visiting her. I love you. I'll be there soon. So yeah, keep going.
So
I want to go to 100 and something.
I'll say we're dead for so much longer, right? We're dead for so much longer. We're dead for millions of years after that, right? We're non-existent.
That's a gem right there.
Right? We're just non-existent for forever. So the time that we have here is so short, and I say there's so many people that are gifted of things that they just don't know, and maybe it just takes hearing someone's story to say, man, I'm capable of doing that. You know, sometimes people think like they got somewhere and there was no struggle. They just think like because they see the result. They don't see the journey. They don't see the path that someone had, the ups and downs. That because people, when you give somebody something like on social media, you're giving them what you want them to see.
Yeah.
But they don't see you going home 4 a.m, designing history maker shorts, 12 o'clock at night, talking to your crew about what it takes. You know, shipping orders, doing so many things that go into building a brand and a company. Because that's what you are. You're a brand, right? And ultimately, I would like to be there. Right, but I know that where my confidence stands is not there yet. I know that, and I'm okay with just little.
Yeah, with the progress.
Yeah, with the progress, little steps here, little steps there. I'm okay with that because I know that eventually, me just being here talking to you with that camera there is already a huge step.
And all those people there.
Yeah,
there's
this
like
is like
16,
a whole nother
there's
thing
like
now.
16 people over there.
Yeah. That feels like 100 people to be honest. But I say that's what I get from your brand, right? That's the influence behind the brand. That's what I feel like people should take into it. If you're only here for a short amount of time, the name says history makers. Make history because you're going to be dead for millennia, for
longer. Yeah,
for longer.
yeah.
Right? So your time here is so short compared to where your afterlife is going to be that I feel like do something that stands out. Right? Do something that makes history that, you know what? Even if you're living in the eternal afterlife, somebody's going to remember you by what you did in the short amount of time that you're here. And that's what I take by history makers.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's what I take. And that's why I say it means so much for me to help support on my end because I feel like when I watch your stuff, I say, bro, this guy takes the time and effort to build this brand, right? You see the energy he puts behind it. If I wish I can put half of that energy you put, right? But maybe I personally, and I'm willing to admit this, I don't have the confidence to do it, right? Because it's not because I don't believe in myself. It's just more like I'm an introvert by heart.
Yeah.
So for me to do what you do is like so uncomfortable, right? And I admire you doing that because that's why I say it's a slap to the face by saying, yo, give me a shirt so I can wear it to promote it. Why? I could pay to promote because I know what you do. I know the passion and drive that you put in it. And if you didn't, then I'd just be like, I wouldn't even think about it, right? I wouldn't even think about it. But when I see what you do you could do nothing
Man,
but
thank
respect
you, man.
it. You could do
Thank
nothing
you,
but
thank
respect
you,
it.
man. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
and I hope to see people around, not just here. I hope, like, because I want people from Miami to support it, right? But I also want to see people around the globe, around the state, support it, because it sends a message. And I think you couldn't have chosen a better name to the brand, because, like I said, you're here for only so amount of time, and you're dead for so long.
Yeah.
That why not make history? Why not be a history maker? Why not tap into what you're good at? And that could be entertainment, that could be art, that could be music, that could be anything. That could be podcasting, that could be content creating. I think the brand speaks to anybody. Just make history. When Jay-Z said Forever Young, he wasn't talking about just being in his 20s. He was
Yeah.
talking about do some shit that your name is going to be here forever. And I think that's what this brand stands for. When I hear history makers, that's what I feel. This means make history last forever, because you're not going to be here forever.
There you go. There you go, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
that's my interpretation.
Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. He's the new spokesman for History Maker 02 right there. You see it.
So now you make your interpretation.
No, look, that ultimately that's it, man. And throughout the years I've been able to in working on myself, it's yourself, bro.
Yeah.
That's what History Makers is all about. Is you. Ultimately.
Right. Agreed.
Right? Whether you paint or whether you do music or that's you.
Right.
You could do 5 things, but that's still you. History Makers is you. I always use the example of like a Michael Jordan or like a Michael Jackson or like a Yuli Monster that is an actual history maker,
Yeah.
has the fastest knockout in combat sports history.
Agreed.
But it's him. It's not what he did. It's him as a person, as an entity, as a brand, as a human, that's us. You know what I'm saying?
So,
that's what History Makers is all
Were
about.
you
It's
always
really,
using history maker as a slogan?
actually, look, this back to your question, back to round 2.
Right.
Back to the beginning. I started History Makers because I didn't want to spend no more money buying clothes.
Okay. Well,
You feel me?
That's
So
valid.
so I said, look, I'm in the entertainment business, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the entertainment. I'm talking about this is 10 years ago, 8 years ago, but then the idea 9.5 years ago. Instead of spending $300 and getting that Gucci shirt, $500 getting those Jordan sneakers, I'm gonna create a brand where
So we got shoes coming.
I'm not wearing them.
Oh, you're about to plug it in?
I'm not wearing them because look, right now we're in the ending of October, so I wanted to wear some Halloween vibes. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? So
I got you.
so I pulled out the black and
orange.
the black and orange alumni jacket. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But ultimately, like I wanted to create a brand where it's like I'm wearing my own clothes.
Right.
If I'm gonna be in the limelight,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be, I want to wear something that's gonna help me motivate myself, encourage myself, believe in myself, and then at the same time, in doing it for me, hopefully it does it for other people. I can help other people based on my message, based on how I'm positive. Everything that you just said, that the way that I am is like, or what you see, or what you
How
been
I
able to
interpret it.
receive.
Yeah.
My energy through social media. There is where that came about. So I was like, okay, cool. What I gotta do? Save my money.
Yeah.
Right? Save my money to then have a website, have a design, pay this guy to do the design, and la 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 la. So ultimately, that's where it was. And then at that time, I didn't drink. I wasn't indulging in magic. At that time, I was like super duper clean and super duper like just on that vibe. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna create a brand where it's positive, it's motivational. You know, people could get inspired and bada bing, bada boom. And then that's where it all started. And then the transition in the 8 years, different things happened.
things
I
changed.
got older.
We got
You know what I
older,
mean?
yeah.
I got older. I got socializing,
Yeah.
and we do it in a social manner. But that's where it all started. And then once the message started getting around and the brand started developing as we went, you know, the message started being more predominant. And then being in the music industry, then certain things started taking fire. Winston wearing it in a music video, Simon Lennox wearing it in a concert, Osuna, DJ Africa, this, that, boom, 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 boom. And then it just started taking off. Everybody just started receiving the message and realizing like, okay, I like that message. It's not just clothes. It's a message. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. It's not just, let me put this on. And then I went through a big phase of like just giving a lot of things out. I'm gonna be straight up. Shout out to everybody that's gotten all the free gear, and I was expecting reciprocation, and then it never happened. And then I was going back to the accountability part. I was like, okay, cool. I gotta restructure that part because I want people to feel like History Makers is not just a brand; it's a lifestyle.
Right.
And we've been able to transition and grow bigger than I've ever expected. And right now, I'm juggling with all of it. You know what I mean? We've grown, and the idea of what I had in the beginning has actually, like, we've been able to manifest it and work and bring it to life.
So I also want to say this too.
Ay, 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 ay.
It also connects you with the person, right? They have something to remember you by.
Yeah.
It's a way of saying like this is an attachment to that person, right? And the reason why I brought up,
I like that.
I'm glad you brought up the point that you brought up about the freebie stuff,
Yeah.
right? We had someone on here that was a WNBA skills trainer, right? He works with WNBA players. DSBG. Shout out to Danny.
Shouts out to Danny. Danny, I see you. You need to get some History Maker gear.
So he was talking about the same thing you talked about. Like when he first started the brand, he started seeing like, everybody was asking him like, hey, and he said the people that were asking him the most were like, yo, he said when he bought his first shipment of clothes, he had a total of $17 left in his bank account. That's it. He spent what he had on that. And basically what he had made like a small sample size of these wristbands. And his brand is called Don't Settle, Be Great. Right?
I like that.
So he says he bought these wristbands and like they just sold out like in an hour.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, that's crazy. So he went and bought T-shirts, created designs, and all he had left in his bank account was $17. And the people that were closest to him were the ones asking him for like, yo, let me get a T-shirt, let me get this. But then he had people like Victor Oladipo and all these Carlos Boozer, professional athletes just buying it. And he was getting all these orders from all these places. And then he was like saying, it hurts so much to know that the people around you in your circle don't buy it, but they ask you for it. But they also see the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. Like they know that when I purchased this, all I had left in my bank account was $17. But yet they're asking for a free shirt. Yeah. If you support me as a person, you'd buy this shirt and say, because you know how much I'm putting into this shirt just alone, or just to take the risk to contact somebody in China or wherever they're making these shirts to produce a mass amount for me to have to be able to sell them to provide for something that I believe in. Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad that you brought that up and that's why I was so proud of saying, I'm proud that I paid for this shirt and not asked you for it because I respect what you do. And I respect and I see and appreciate the effort that you put into your brand. So that's why I say it's important for everyone out there, Miami, or just the people in your crew to say, you know what? You could give a shirt because you want to, right? Because it comes out of your own heart. But it's important to me, it's respect when someone says, yo, I'll give you what that shirt cost because I know what you're going through to build that brand. And I want to support that brand at whatever cost. A real friend will always help a friend by saying, let me pay for it. You don't go asking for the handout because you know what that friend went through. Yeah. Right? It's easier to say, let me get a handout than to say, let me help you.
No, but not only that, but look what happened as soon as you put that shirt on. Let's talk about that.
I became less nervous with everybody. I became less nervous with everybody here. I became less nervous.
You feel me? Let's talk about it. As soon as you put that shirt, I'm telling, look, all my viewers watching right now, it's not just fashion. It's not just a shirt. It's not just joggers. It's not just hoodie. It's not just a hat. It's not that. It's like it comes with, like, I feel like we've collectively, like everybody in our team and everybody that's helped through this journey to build the brand and the credibility and just our message. I feel like it's more than just a garment.
The wristband.
It's more. Oh, that's never too late, right there. We're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into never too late. But it's more than just a garment, man. It's really like a lifestyle. It's really like a mindset.
We got a history ones? A history maker one?
Not yet. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get one.
I mean, right now we pushing never.
These things are big, bro.
You want to jump into that right now?
This is how he started.
Look, Never Too Late is our first short film.
Right.
You know, is our first short film. Shouts out to Sofla. You know what I mean?
With Sofla.
Yeah, with Sofla. Shouts out to Sofla. He directed that right there. It's our first short film that we was even able to have, because we're talking about history makers, and this is how we're gonna plug it in.
This is history.
being able to even have history makers involved in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's our first short film. We've won 7. Was it 7, 6, 6, possibly 7.
I think at the time that I shot it, it was 4.
4.
And then I think it won run right after.
Yeah, so we've won 6 already short films festivals around the nation on a short film.
Inspiring people.
Who would have ever thought that we would have ever produced a short film?
Well, that's what Sofla said.
Sofla, Sofla, I saw the podcast. Sofla talked about his story. He talked about that guy right there too.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we are a small circle of conglomerate individuals that are special, and you know, society it's just the world the way that it is, and we're not gonna question it. We're just gonna continue to adapt and move, you know what I'm saying, through the jungle the way that we are. But we all special, bro. You know what I mean? And never too late. That was a historic thing too. But History Makers lifestyle brand, and we rocking and rolling.
So, are you releasing gear product in terms of seasonal? Are you like you released that for Halloween, right? I'm assuming that's the Halloween vibes.
No.
That's just normal.
this is just like some real custom vibes.
Okay.
This is some real custom vibes. But right now, what happens with History Makers? This is.
You want to make it a year-round thing.
I feel like free, but at the same time, I feel like History Makers. What has happened with History Makers is being able to use this platform to elaborate these things, right? So that's where I was getting at. Being in the music industry and really focused in the music industry, I never gave History Makers the time and moment that it needed. Meaning, I was 80% into the music industry, 20% into my History Makers. History Makers was still alive based on the 80% that I was in producing through the music industry. Right. Why? Because that is all I would wear.
Yeah.
Every show, every city, every country, every state, every stage, every place, every club, every appearance, I would be wearing my own clothes.
Yeah.
So just with my legwork, History Makers has been able to celebrate their 8-year anniversary. Now, circling back into the last 4 or 5 years where I've been able to find myself, been able to hone like my creative and narrow in as far as like the team, and narrow in as far as, you know, manufacturing and producing and being able to, you know, build the brand. I've been able to circle back around, and now I'm changing my energy level now.
Yeah.
History Makers is now going to get the 80%. The music is now going to get the 20%. I gave 7 years of my life, 8, 9, almost 10 years of my life to the music industry and putting History Makers on the back end, where now I've been able to circle back around, and it's like, okay, cool. Let me substitute this energy vibe. Let me give History Makers the energy that it need, the creative that it need, the infrastructure that it need, the team that it need, the influencers, the marketing, the photography, the videography, the content creation, the ad spend, everything that History Makers need, because it's sustained itself. It's still alive. There's people that have open businesses. And
what flipped the switch? Like, what got you to that point?
Myself.
Okay.
Finding myself. I feel like the reason why I was doing music was not the reason I was gifted to do music.
Explain that. I'm confused.
All right.
Like a purpose, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the entertainment world, it'll suck you in, bro. The entertainment world will suck you in and spit you out. And once it spits you out, you're a completely different person, and you'll possibly be confused. You'll probably question yourself. You'll probably not have confidence based on the standards of the politics that goes into the entertainment business. That the majority of the world is bamboozled on what the entertainment business is. And the biggest artists in the world will tell you, we're just we just won't accept it because we're also like
a part of it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't see that. You'll see a Kanye West like, that nigga crazy. He's having baby mama dramas just like everybody else got baby mama drama, bro.
He's got regular problems.
Just because he's a billionaire, that doesn't mean that
he's just a rich person having those problems.
And the fact that he's confident enough to express himself, just like how everybody else expresses himself.
And they make him seem crazy for it.
And he's crazy.
I agree with all this.
So no, it's cool. So, I like it. So being able to go through that process, and I felt like I lost like the magic on why I was blessed to even make music. The ability to even write music, the ability to even get on stage and transmit energy to people that possibly have never seen me ever.
Yeah.
Possibly just a flyer that they saw walking in. But they're here to see Arcangel. They didn't come here to see Too Nice.
Yeah.
But they just got Too Nice. But the ability to be able to touch them, then they go home and go like, yo, that guy that came before Daddy Yankee, that guy was pretty cool.
Valid point right here. I'm gonna say this. I've experienced this personally. Maybe not so much in a concert, because I don't go to many.
Yeah. In strip club.
No,
No, I was kidding.
the strip clubs I do indulge in. We talked about Go Rush, Chef Frankie days.
Hey, Chef Frank.
So I love stand-up comedy. I have been to stand-up comedies where the opening act is way better than the headliner.
Come on.
At least I've been to, I would say, more than 200 stand-up comedies, like with a headliner, and I say maybe 85 to 90 times I've seen that the opening act was way better than the headliner. And you'd be like, yo, who is this guy? Why is he not headlining something?
That's the history makers effect.
I agree with that.
That's the history makers effect. That's what happens. That's how I was raised. That's how I was brought up. If you give us the ability to use the same pyrotechnics, the same TV, the same sound equipment, the same microphone, the same stage, the same platform as them, we're going to be able to utilize them and maximize the opportunity.
Yeah.
Based on like the way that we maneuver and shake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that process has led to this process.
Okay.
You know, being able to, whether it's 10 to 10,000, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and give it our all. Back to the message of the industry and all of that stuff, I feel like that's what happened. I feel like I was at a point where it's like, you got to sound like this to make it like this. You need to look like this to be like this. You need to
You need to play a part.
And the number one thing that I've always gotten, and I've said it like once or twice, is that, yo, you just need this one person to give you an opportunity. You just need this one person to, give you that help. You just need this one person to see you perform. You just need this one person to do this, to do that. So ultimately, I looked myself in the mirror in a time of despair where it was like that person that I've always needed was myself.
Right.
Was myself, bro.
Yeah.
Was myself, because with my abilities, I'll be able to position myself. I'll be able to position myself in the position to be able to get the things that I need, to work for the things that I need, to build the things that I need. But I just need myself. I can't wake up thinking that, oh, I need to go do this because Fulano's going to be there and he might.
Yeah.
And I did that for a long time. Till I found that that's not what I needed.
Yeah.
What I needed was myself. So in doing that, there's where the Let It Rip season happened. And there's where this happened.
Yeah.
Where it
That's a special thing right there.
Hey, we all are.
Hey, listen, you guys are laughing, right? But I'm going to tell you this. I'm envious of that one side because I can't even grow that one side.
But listen.
I wish I could do that, bro.
But listen, I'm envy to what you got up top. Because I don't even do that. I don't even do that no more.
Longer. This ain't gonna last much longer.
Hey, but
this got a few years left.
Hey, but you got years. I don't got no years.
Well, listen, I would trade this for this any day of the week.
No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, as a history maker, now that you're wearing that across your chest, don't do it. Ride that wave. Because you can always do this. You can never.
I don't know about this, bro. This is patched up.
No, but I'm just saying, I can never go back to having hair up top.
Hey, toupees exist, bro. You can't toupee this.
No, I'm confident enough with this.
You can't toupee this. Nobody could really make this up. But this right here, you could fix this somehow.
I don't even know what I would look like.
This.
I don't even remember what I look like with hair on my head.
I'd be like, yo, I'm jealous of
I'm Michael Jordan right
now. I'm jealous of half of it. Just to have half of it, I would appreciate.
Well, look, I even had a mustache in the beginning stages. I had the mustache. It was the whole thing. I was selling funny salesman this.
You had it all
night.
Around?
Not this way, but all around this way. It was a mustache, little. What's this thing called?
I get this. Yeah, I do get this.
What is this thing called? This is like
the bridge,
like a chiva.
Okay,
in Miami we call it little chivita.
Okay, chivita.
You know, we had a beard, la chivita, and then the beard like that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
and wrapping around my
Nope,
neck like
can't
that.
do it. I wish I could.
Hey,
I'm envious of that.
I said this to the team yesterday. Shouts out to my girlfriend to sticking with me when I was looking wild and crazy. She understood like the process that I was going through. You know what I'm saying? To like build myself and build like that layer of skin that I feel like the
So
industry.
I want to say something
you know what
about
I'm saying
that.
was shedding on me.
I want to say something about that. It's
What's
not that
up?
she understood. It's
Oh.
just that's just love.
That's love right there.
That's love. When you love someone and you care about someone, ups and downs don't matter. The person matters.
Man.
And that's how I feel about it.
Well, not look. And yesterday when I was telling this, I said my team too. So I said my girl, and I gotta mention my team too, because every time when we pull up somewhere, everyone will be looking crazy. But as long as my team had their chin up high and was ready to punch somebody in their face if they wanted to get slick, that was part of the confidence needed to be built. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
was all part of the process. So in the industry, like sucking me in and spitting me out and leaving me in a space where it's like, I didn't believe myself, want to kill myself, like a whole bunch of crazy things was going on till I looked into my mirror and I was like, yo, like you good. Like, believe in yourself, believe in what you got, believe in yourself, believe in your talent, believe in your hard work, believe in what you've been able to do, believe in those that believe in you. And that's where this happened. And through this process, it's the Let It Rip season, baby. And I feel like so energized. I feel like blessed more than ever, self-aware of everything. I feel like every day that I wake up is like, let's just go out there and learn. Let's just go out there and turn these L's into W's. And accountability was one of those big things. Once I started putting the blame on myself for everything, there was nothing else. There was nothing nobody could ever do, because I knew that I was just gonna progress from that moment on. You know what I mean?
Before we segue to the next thing.
Oh, we segue in?
Yeah,
So I think we need to refill.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Refill.
So before we segue, do you have any
Mix a little water in there.
advice
Check.
or information that you want to give to the people that want to be artists, that want to do what you've done, but that maybe are stuck in a rut, don't know how to get out, maybe are just in a plateau? Do you have any advice for them? And any words of inspiration to those people that are entertainers, that want to be entertainers, but that don't know, maybe like you said, like the industry sucks you in, but they don't know how to deal with it, or just to deal with the ups and downs of it?
I mean, ultimately, I would say just believe in yourself. You know, that'll be my message. You know, believe in yourself before you feel like you have to mold yourself to what society, because even society don't even know what society wants.
I agree with that 100%. That's a statement right
So
there.
how are we going to adapt ourselves or wake up every single day gifted and blessed and with the abilities that God gave us, wanting to adapt to society or what's going on? We can't please everybody. We know that part.
Yeah.
But you could please yourself.
Yeah.
You know, focus on yourself. One thing that Lorena Garcia, when she came on the podcast, she dropped on me. Well, she dropped on us and everybody that was in the room and everybody that's watched that episode is simplify, focus, execute.
That was the most recent one, right?
No, Lorena Garcia, she came on the podcast like episode 16, 17, around
I feel like I
there.
saw this one. Was this the chick with the big breast?
No. That's Angelina Castro. She
Okay,
came
okay.
on episode 4.
Yeah,
and she
I
came
remember
on
that one.
and she came
I
on
specifically remember that one because of that.
and she came on episode 69. She's a porn star.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. That one stuck out, yeah.
Yeah, in Cuatro and 69, of course. Tuvieron sus.
Okay.
But ultimately, just that part, bro. You know what I mean? Just that part. Simplify, focus, execute. Us as creators, we have a big picture of the idea. But it's so big that we don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But if you made a simplified version of that big idea just so you can focus and execute on it, you'll see that with the progress of you doing that, like you'll eventually get to that big picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my advice to everyone, you know what I'm saying, my flavor to your ear right now coming through this microphone is that. Believe in yourself, simplify, focus, execute, and we were never created to live an average life. We were created to be history makers. So in being a history maker, that means that you believe in yourself. You know, you believe in yourself. Ultimately, believe in yourself. Whatever it is, whatever you want to do, you blessed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. And for those of you out there, I hope somebody out there this touched someone. I hope he hit somebody. I hope he understands that this man's been through the industry for a long time. He's gone through all the ups and downs. He's gone through everything. So this is coming from words of wisdom right here.
I said, look, me tratan de cerrar la puerta y yo la abrí. Con una pata voladora como Bruce Lee. Pila de años en esta vaina, mira cómo sigo aquí, trematando la liga, nadie me saca de aquí. Me observan, me critican y todito están hablando, pero cuando me ven en la calle están saludando, vigilando todo lo que hago. Me dejan saber que soy un bacano. Nací con este don, esto es fácil para mí. Me quedé con tu mujer y te mandé para otro país. Bye, bye, vaya con Dios, que tú y él sabe como yo no hay dos. Tranquilo tropicales como voy, lo verdadero mío ellos saben cómo voy. F-O-C-U-S, enfocado en mi negocio en cashing checks. The way I'm switching the flow, I'm killing the flow. I know you feeling the flow, try to stay with it though. On your mark, get set, get ready, I'm letting it go. Con los temas viejo mío, I'm still killing the show. Envy in your eyes, I'm way ahead of you guys. Now it's back to business, I'm ready to ride. P-V-O. Flavor in your ear, let them know.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm super jealous of that because I could never do that right there. I'll never in my life do that right there.
Hey, but this is why we got what we got. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
exactly.
you got sauce that I don't got, and I got sauce that you don't got.
You got a whole lot of sauce.
And when we put it in the oven, baby, that's that flavor in your ear.
You got a whole lot. Okay, so now that Jay's here.
Oh.
Okay, before we segue, I really want to get into, you're doing the art too. Because I see Jay doing the art, but I see you dabble in the art.
Hey.
Is it something that, you're just learning? Is he mentoring you? What's going on?
He's inspired me.
Okay.
You know, Jay Ramirez came into our lives a year ago, and he's inspired me to tap back into something that I would do back in 2007, back in 2008, back like I was telling you, back in high school, I was painting on garments. Before I was printing on them, I was hand painting in the living room of my mom's house, you know, the garments for my team, for my whole little squad to go up to the pep rallies looking saucy.
Yep.
For the days that we don't got, that we can wear whatever we want, everybody's lit wearing, you know what I'm saying, dope gear. So in Jay Ramirez, he's been able to help me build that confidence to be like, yo, you used to do this. You know, you haven't done it. That doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So with his energy coming around and being able to be an amazing person as he is, he's been able to energize me in that particular sector. And I've been painting, man. I did like a pretty huge...
The mural, I see.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I did a pretty huge mural. I found my paintings. I went back to my mom's house. I was like, yo, mommy, you still got those paintings from back in the day? See me, or they're in the shed. I went back there. I started digging them up and I actually found a painting from 2008. And that was the painting that actually like solidified like... to tell me like, yo, you been doing this, bro.
Yeah.
Like you know how to do this too. Like how crazy is like
It's
this
just
is
a craft that you
like,
gotta
yo,
get back to.
And man, I found that cuadro and I still have it to this day, and I'm taking it to History Makers sometime soon. And yeah, man, and he's just been a blessing, bro. And he's been showing and proving, and he's been taking advice. He's been putting in action. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, and he's honed in what History Makers represents. And he is a history maker, and he has talent, and he's gifted. And I'm also blessed to be even in a position to be able to, you know, do these type of things and give a helping hand. Because I feel like the more you help people, the more the universe is going to help you. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how that works, bro. Like if you fucking people over, eventually the universe is going to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? You're going to end up in a position, in a place where you don't want to be. You know what I mean?
Difference between what you said and what I'm going to say is this. I don't think the universe fucks you over.
Oh.
I think the universe gives you a challenge.
Yeah, I say fuck
That's
you
how
over.
I see it.
You say challenge.
That's a more optimistic way of looking at it.
You know what I'm saying? I say fuck you over. You say challenge. But it's the same.
An obstacle.
It's the same synopsis, right? It puts you in a position like if you're doing bad is gonna happen to you, bro. If you wake up and you thinking good, even if bad happens to you, but your mindset is a PVO mindset, you're gonna find the good in that, and you're gonna flip it and reverse it. That goes back to the accountability part, like. Once you understand that everything happens for a reason, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. the conglomerate being here and having you go through that obstacle and having you go through that process and having you do a show with 20 people in here when you've never done that.
No, never.
That's part of the process, bro. Like, we're not going to question that. We're just going to accept it for what it is, and we're going to learn that lesson as it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're not losing. We're just learning. And with Jay, he's been able to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? With the painting side, the same way that with Yuli Monster, you know, one of his main slogans is "Fighting saved my life." When Mike and Platt introduced the Yuli project to me, I didn't know it was going to last this long. But the fact that it's lasted this long,
It's made history.
and it saved my life too,
Why? Why do you say that?
because it's made me work on something that I wasn't working on before.
Oh, okay.
And it made me work and be a part of a project and be a part of a group of individuals and be a part of, he's us, bro. He's a history maker just like
It
us.
challenged you.
Yeah. So it put me in a position where to grow and to build. And what we've been able to do together, if we would have never made that happen, if they weren't able to put those two pieces together, when we talk about passion projects and things of that nature, like, is Yuli Monster and Two Nights the passion project of its own?
Yeah.
Its own, meaning like the company that we were able to create, the agency that we were able to create to be able to facilitate, you know, talent and help them position themselves based on their talent and what they do in the society that we're in that has different spectrums, right? With merchandising, entertainment, podcasting, art, music. And with that, I feel like it's come with so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's come with so much. But fighting saved my life, because if it saved his, and I feel like he's been a part of my life for so long and is going to be part of my life, his fight saved my fight too, because we fight in the same fight.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? He's
100%.
fighting it in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm fighting it in where I'm doing with my brand.
Yeah.
I'm fighting it with being an artist. I'm fighting it with being a painter. I'm fighting it with just being a creator.
Exactly.
You know, I'm fighting every single day. You know, I had 17-hour days, 16, 18-hour days. I'm fighting every day. It may not be in the ring, but now that he's my brethren, I fight in the ring with him.
Right.
I fight in the locker room with him. I fight when we in the gym with him. I fight when we on podcast with him. I fight when we developing the brands with him. I'm fighting every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's what's been able to happen through, you know, the trajectory of this Let It Rip season.
And just to touch on that, man, like, I'm super envious of, I love art, right? I could never do it. But wait
till you come to one of our J Ramirez experiences at History Makers.
So this is what I'll tell you this. This is why it's different. And this is why I say this. It doesn't, I could sit down with Jay for hours and learn on how to do art, right? But I feel like it's just such a God-given gift where you say the details. That's just something that just comes with your instinct.
I'm gonna fuck your mind up right now.
Go ahead, fuck it up. I'm ready.
It goes to what I just said 5 minutes ago. That's the big picture. What you're describing right now is the big picture. Sitting with me for an hour, I'm gonna find a simplified version of that picture, just so we can focus and just so we can execute. With the help of Jay, we're gonna accelerate your progress on conquering that, and we're gonna make it happen. Because I'm not gonna put you on a 78 by 96 canvas. You feel me? I'm gonna start you with a little 12 by 12.
I'm gonna need that. Yeah.
You feel me? We gonna start you with a just draw a line.
Listen, if I could draw it straight,
Get the stroke. Get the stroke.
These whiskeys ain't helping though.
No, but listen, it don't gotta be straight. Because
hey, that's valid.
It don't gotta be straight.
That's
it gotta be
valid.
whatever you want to do.
That's so valid.
Listen, hanging around with the conglomerate, you're gonna see how you're gonna conquer these
that's what I
shits,
respect
right?
about art, right? It's whatever the artist sees. It's his vision.
It's your perspective,
it's your
on what the
Exactly.
vibe is.
Right.
But ultimately, aside from the art, is the progress, is the process through it, right? It's not winning the trophy, it's the process that you went to get that trophy.
Right.
It's the people that you surrounded yourself with. It's the affirmations that you read on a daily basis. It's the content that you consume on through social media. You know, it's turning off Channel 7 News. Why? I hate that show. I don't watch that show.
I don't watch that shit at all.
You know, that's the worst show I could ever watch, you know? But I'm on Twitter. I'm not following, you know, people that are dancing and moving and shaking, but I'm following affirmations. I'm following people that give
now
me
that
the
you said
energy.
that,
Oh, what's up?
I saw somebody make a big quote saying, "The world isn't as terrible as you think it is. if you just turned off everything around you.
Yeah, the world is a business.
If you just look at things every day and how you see it, like your everyday experience, just how you're just going along, like your trip to the Walgreens, your trip to the gym, your trip to whatever it is, our connection right now, right? You would see the world isn't as bad as it is, but when you start focusing on Channel 7 News, you start focusing on Yahoo News, Google News, and they're giving you all these terrible stories, you think, man, this world is really fucked up. But if you just focus on your surroundings, just what you see, and don't get on technology, you realize the world is full of regular people, amazing people, really good people.
The thing is that the world is fucked up. That's the fucked up part of the world, that the world is being ran as a business. This is a business, bro. The world is a business. The United States of America is a business. And the way that it works is it's controlled by entertainment, it's controlled by politics, it's controlled by news, it's controlled by fear, right?
Fear.
The news, they should change their name to fear, because all they promote and all they want you to consume is fear.
I agree
so
with
if
that.
you consume that on a daily basis, I told my mom, look, I'm going to disconnect Comcast from here if you just going to watch Telemundo.
Telemundo.
Like I'm cutting that shit off. You
Everything
better
is
start
bad.
watching Discovery Channel. I'm
Yeah.
about to minimize it. You can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna watch YouTube. We got smart TVs. You watching YouTube, and I'm gonna favorite Don't Blink podcast. Because if you watch every episode of the Don't Blink podcast, you're gonna feel motivated. You're gonna feel people's stories. You're gonna feel people that are just like you. My parents is hustlers. They're entrepreneurs. I feel like that's where I got my inner spirit from.
Okay.
You know, from my parents. But the world and the society is like that. You know what I mean?
And now
it's weird.
that you fully said that,
It's
that's where the
weird.
segue was going, right?
Oh, segue.
I get where the where the name comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. But
That's shouts out to Yuli, because
Right.
you seen what he did.
yeah, I already saw it. And I went to his fight. Shout out, knocked the guy out like in 13 seconds. The
No,
one-
3 seconds.
No, the one that I went to recently.
Oh, the boxing one.
The boxing one.
Yeah, it
But
was
I think
first round knockout.
Yeah,
First round
first round knockout. A little light,
First round.
but I waited like 7 fights, and then he came out and just boop 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 did the work quick. I was like, damn, that was fast. That guy was not ready for him.
No, it
that
was
guy
awesome.
was not ready.
With-
for him.
And I gotta give a shout out to Yuli Monster. You know what I'm saying? That's a professional fighter, about to go into his 7th fight this year. Hopefully it locks in. You know what I'm saying? But he's fought 6 times this year. He
all
fought
boxing.
2 boxing,
Okay.
2 MMA, and 2 bare knuckles.
Right.
And 2 of the bare knuckles were for a title shot. You know, well, one of them was for a title shot. You know what I'm saying? So he's moving and shaking.
I
He's
saw
a
one of
history
them was
makers
like
in the
against a
flesh.
close friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had him on the podcast.
Yeah. I
Come
saw
on,
that.
baby.
I saw it.
Oh my God, Double League podcast.
I
He's
saw
lit.
that. So we know where the name comes from.
Yeah.
Right? Whose was it? Your idea?
Nah, it was his idea. It was his idea.
And how did it come about? How did it come about?
He wanted to do a podcast. It was an idea that was brewing amongst the team. He tested it out with a few other people, and then I felt like being part of the squad for, I would say, maybe like a year already into it, we just needed to let it rip. So shouts out to the PPP.
So I'm confused when you say that. When you say you tried it out with other people, because I know the first episode you were already part of, right? The one with the owner of the
Yeah, with Hate Mondays.
Hate Mondays, right?
Yes. Shouts out to Carl.
There was like tester episodes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he did. He started off with Caballo. He wanted to do something. He tried it with Caballo, and he tried it with Wes, and which they already had their own stuff going on. And then he would just boom, 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 and then we would go and blah blah blah. But it didn't work out, timing, scheduling, and da da da. And then shouts out to the PPP. When PPP came in, I said, "Hey, look, I'm about to just buy all of this stuff, and then let's just try it out ourselves, because you know what's good for you is good for me, and what's good for me is good for you, and there's no wrong in that." And then we tried it. We did a test run. Shouts out to Manny Blades, MI Smart Film Solutions, my brethren that gave us, you know, second force place to bring this vision to life, which I'm super duper grateful for and blessed to be able to have that friendship that we had. And he said, yeah, man, come through. So me and Yuli tried it, and then we knocked out our first episode. And then from our first, again, big picture, this is before we got to simplify, focus, execute. But just check how it just happened.
Right.
Big picture, then we simplified it. We got our first episode. From our first episode 1 doesn't look like episode 2. Episode
No.
2 doesn't look like episode 3. And then episode 3 to episode 79 is history in the
It's a
making.
growth, yeah.
History in the making since
New
then.
set,
Yeah.
New set?
Well, we just transitioned into the new set. So
Right.
till 79, we was right there at MIA Smartphone. Shouts out to Manny Blades, MIA Smartphone Solutions, my brethren. I'm telling you that, like, to be able to create the things that we've been able to create with the people that we've been able to create that have been day ones from day ones. I'm talking about Manny Blades. He's been, we would play hockey on rollerblades in a tennis court growing up.
Wow.
When I moved here from New York, and
Hockey
we moved
on tennis courts.
on rollerblades.
On rollerblades. Got it.
Yes,
That's a whole matchup. Yeah, that's a whole matchup.
Just
I
think
had to
of,
process that.
Just even think of like the tennis court rack in the middle,
Yeah.
and then us having to skate through around. They could throw the puck through the middle of the thing, skate
Yeah.
around, come around, and da. That's how far back we go. To be able to give me the opportunity to, bring a vision to life when it's hard for me. It's hard for me to explain what I want to create, because I'm a verbal, and then I'm gonna put in work into creating it to then be like, look, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
I can't. I've learned that I can't. There's only so much I can say. There's
Yeah.
only so much, because there's only so much that you can obtain, and then there's only so much that you can process in your mind.
Yeah.
Right. So I can tell you an idea that you're like, well, yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds crazy. And then in the back, yeah, you can't do that. That's gonna take a long time.
It's a process.
That's the big picture.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, simplify it to just get started, and then that's what happened. And then here we are, man. We're 97 episodes deep. We've been able to transition from episode 79 to 70 to 80 to Hangout Creation. Shouts out to Don't Be, Executive Digital, and everybody inside that creative house. And we were able to get the help that we needed to continue the progress, the eye for certain things when it comes to production and sets and building sets and things of that nature, the progress of the show. Shouts out to Hangout Creations. And then we did 10 episodes at Hangout Creations till we were able to then get our own spot. And
Right.
then now we're in Inside History Makers, and we've
The
been
own spot is the new set.
yeah,
okay.
the new set. Episode 90 till now, man. Episode 97 that premieres on Tuesday, and we've been rocking and rolling, man. And it's been a journey, man. And in building the new sets, every time we transitioned for the past 2 times, we've known that the first episode in that location, it's not going to be like the second episode in that location, because we're going to continue to progress. We're going to see. It's hard to fix something that you can't physically see.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, we do the first one, let's just knock that out, and then let's just progress from there. So we've been able to do that, man. And then being able to have History Makers now, closing out 2022, it's November, the last 2 months of the year, pumped inside our new location, bringing guests inside and bringing that big vision that I had back in the day of being able to bring guests to our facility and not only dress them, not only do the podcast, but then dress them, do a fitting, the garment, like the garment that I brought you today, like have it there prepared for the guests, have the photographers and the lighting and the setup already to even do content creation. Ultimately, the big picture on that was that by the time we finished with the guests, we got everything. We got the podcast, we got the brand awareness, we got the content creation, they saw the new spot, we did anything and everything that we wanted to do with the squad. Don't mind that. That's the team back there. The crowd's going crazy right now.
Should have it.
Is to be able to maximize our opportunity with the guests. You know why? To go back to the beginning things that we talked about in when you give something to a person and then you expect for them to post a picture, to tag you, to da-da-da-da-da. We've been able to progress into the position where it's like, I'm going to do everything with the guests right now.
Yeah.
When the guest leaves from here, whether they post or whether they do it, it doesn't matter no more. Why? Because we ran like NASCAR, and everything was ready, and blah, 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 and we created that experience. Ultimately, that's what I wanted to do at History Makers, is create that experience that when you come to the Don't Blink podcast, you're not just coming to the Don't Blink podcast, you come into a facility where we're going to maximize these 2 hours that we have with each other, and we're gonna cross market everything that we got. So it's been a blessing.
And I think the balance is great because your energy with his like even keel,
Yeah,
it balances itself
Nah,
out.
and he runs a show, man. Yuli runs a show. You know what I mean? Yuli runs a show, and I'm just able to enhance. You know, that's my new thing too. Enhance. That I'm just able to. I'm just able to enhance the magic that he already brings to the
Yeah.
table, and together we're like yin and yang. And plus, with everybody else that comes with the vibe too, it's been a blessing to be able to, you know, grow with them, learn with them, and develop the flow of what it is to have our own facility, like what this is,
Yeah.
and have a flow going through it.
Yeah, that's hopefully one day I can have my own too. where I don't have to depend on other people's time. In other words, like, you know, oh, they don't operate at this time, I can't do that.
Hey, but listen, after being 97 episodes deep, you start right here, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
You
gotta
I'm-
start somewhere.
I'm telling you, if I dissect, if you put me to dissect everything that you've processed and everything that you've been through for the past year, I'm telling you right now that this right here is the simplified version of the big picture. And you're going to get to the big picture as long as you continue to have progress and to have consistency and to do things purposely.
Yeah.
You're not just doing this just to do it. There is a reasoning why you're doing it.
There is a reason. That is
Yeah,
for sure.
you feel me? And
That is
that
for sure.
that was a big thing too. I wasn't at one point I was just doing music just to do music, thinking that that's just, you know, I wasn't really honing the gift of making music.
Yeah.
I wasn't really honing the gift of being able to get on stage and touch people like that. You know what I'm saying? Whether it is at a big scale or whether it is just 20 people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know.
Is there a process between you guys when you guys are discussing guests on who should come on, who shouldn't, maybe, you know, what their story is or what there shouldn't be? Is there like a
In the beginning, in starting the podcast, I feel like, I mean, yes, there is. Yes, there is a process on that part. You know, shouts out to our producer. Shouts out to the producer of the year. You know what I'm saying? Casual Collabo for the 99 and 2000s. There is that process, but ultimately, like being Yuli and Too Nice is like, we already have a network. We already have a following. We already have a bunch of people. So we did make a list down of who we would want to interview. And then we just passed that over to our producer. And he's just been, you know, and throughout that process, growing even as a producer and being that person, like, yo, you want to be on the show, you got to talk to this person. You want to be on that, you got to talk to this. You got to. We've been able to do that, and now circling to where having our own location, coming back together and creating a roster of people that I would want to see come to History Makers that have given me a helping hand, that have been there from the beginning, and being able to have a platform now that we can also help them progress in their business and their ventures and what they got going on. That's another thing too, being able to have a platform like this. This is amazing.
Do you have all right, I hate to put you on a spot.
Because
shit. You know why I say this? Because every guest is
shit.
important.
Oh.
Do you have a favorite episode? An episode that you took a lot from, or that you just really enjoyed filming it? Or that person really just gravitated to how you felt about things? They were saying things that you just really felt like, I really vibe with this person, or I learned a lot from this episode that maybe I didn't.
Shannon Briggs episode, I don't remember exactly what episode that was, but that episode changed my life.
Okay.
You know, his episode changed my life. I felt like, damn, I mean, there's tears to my eyes.
And that's why I asked that question, because it's important for people to know.
Even going home, that night, I sent a voice note to Mike and I said, you know, this episode changed my life. You know, this
I can see it in your eyes right now.
This did it. You know, Shannon Briggs, I made a song for him. We traveled. He took me to Vegas to a
Vegas is
convention. And when he came on there and he said that when he shaved it, when he cut his dreads, when he had to find himself, when he started calling himself the champ, when, you know.
So he cut his dreads for a reason?
Yeah, the reasoning was finding himself.
It was like
you
a
know,
change.
believing in himself, Like, you know, doors was closing on him. People didn't want to. He was a heavyweight champion of the world. People didn't want to fight. I was going through a whole bunch of stuff.
Life was closing in.
Yeah, man. And he was just like, I just needed to reinvent myself.
Yeah. That's valid. Yeah.
I just needed to reinvent myself. I needed to believe in myself. And there's where the Let's Go Champ, the song I made for him was called Let's Go Champ. When we like even that, like my lawyer was his lawyer, and they were the ones that connected the two. He was like, yo, look, I got this artist, he got this brand, he got this vibe, like it'll connect. And then he connected us. Shouts out to Rob, you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? He helped me so much in the beginning stages even of History Makers, getting everything right, getting everything legit, you know what I'm saying? And I even hit him up through Facebook, you know, not so long ago. I was like, yo, you helped me so much. You helped me build like the person that I am today, even my brand, you know what I mean? And that episode, bro, it just, every episode to me is my favorite episode, because just being able to have a platform and transitioning from what I told you before, the message that everyone would tell me, like, you just need somebody to believe in. You just need somebody. And then believing in myself, and then believing in those around me, and those around me believing in me, and be able to create this platform from where I'm not no longer searching. They coming now.
Yeah.
They coming. You know, everybody that's on my contact list, like here, contact them. They coming now. And they're coming and they're sharing their story, how they started, what helped them through their dark times, and how they've been able to progress throughout their journey and be history makers in the process. That's the transformation, and why I say history Don't Blink podcast is therapy for me, is because of that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, so that particular episode, it changed a lot. It changed a lot in me, and every episode of the Don't Blink podcast has made me the person that I am today, and all of them are my favorite. They're all my babies. And I don't have kids yet, but I have 97 of them in the
They're
in the
his
digital
favorite
world.
in a certain way.
Yeah, they
all have hold special places.
Look, if I would write notes on what gem I can tell you from every episode, like, there would be that vibe. Like, I can tell you every episode, I got this from it, 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 I got this one and this one. So they're all unique and amazing in their own way, and a blessing.
Yeah.
But Shannon Briggs episode, that was the one. Look, I even told you Lorena Garcia. What I got from her episode was that.
You mentioned
simplified,
a reference.
focus, execute. From that moment, that was almost like a year and a half ago. Literally, almost like a year. If we got to get a little,
We're going at 2 years.
We're going into 2 years now. We're going into 2 years now. We started December 28 was our first episode. You know, I feel like December 28 possibly, or 26 was the first time that we filmed, and then that episode came out, you know, sometime in January. But it's going into 2 years, bro. Every episode has been therapeutic for me and has built the person that I am today, the confidence that I have today, the self-awareness that I have today, and being able to build a Don't Blink podcast, let's say, would be the trophy. The process would be what I've been able to build with the team that I've been able to build the Don't Blink podcast with.
Yeah.
You know, so in building that part, you know, and building the communication based on that, everyone is different. Everybody processes things different. Everybody has different perspectives. And the same way that I talk to Rex, I can't talk to Jay Ramirez, because, you know,
He's a different person.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So even going through that process of and individually building with every individual separately that's inside the conglomerate, like that process, that's the most like satisfying process of this journey. You know, building with every person, because Rex wasn't never a talker, but now he's gonna be talking.
Yeah.
You see what he's wearing, you know. Jay, he came to me, he was never a talker. You see, you know what I'm saying? He's wearing Nike now because we're trying to get that sponsorship. But, you know, if it wasn't that, he'd be wearing that. You know, Platt, he's wearing some. I made that right there, you know. But he's been here since day one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And anybody else, Mike, he'll be here too. He's not here. He's doing what is he doing? What's that thing that Mike starts doing? Pilates. You know, come on,
God.
now. Come on now.
We got the shoes coming though.
Come on now. My dog doing.
Look, you wearing Nikes too now. Don't just get on Jay for wearing Nikes. You wearing Nikes too.
I'm trying to get a piece of that check too. What the fuck?
Nah, bro, we got the History Maker sneakers coming out.
Oh,
soon.
but you know,
They coming.
But ultimately, the process of being able to build that, and even our photographers, Jen shot that. You know, Jaden Sky.
I met Jen. She's really nice.
Jen shot that. She's amazing.
At
you know
La
what I'm saying?
Hama food truck.
Yeah, shouts out to La Hama and all of that. Chef Frankie, I feel like everyone, man. I feel
it's
like
a family.
I feel like my confidence and what I've been able to build throughout my journey, I feel like that's my gift to those that want to be around me. If you want to be around me, be prepared to feel this, to hear this, if you want to tell me an idea, I'm the wrong person to tell an idea to, because I'm going to tell you, let's fucking make it happen. What do we need? A camera? I got that. What do we need? A space? I got that. What do you need? To wear something? I'll dress you. Like coaching, like I understand the formula of being able to go through that process to develop that in you, because if you hear right now in my life like everyone viewing is purposely driven, bro. Like it's for a reason, it's for a reason, and I've honed that in, and I live every day like that, man. You know what I mean? I wake up every day and I go to sleep every day knowing that my ability to help those around me is why I'm still being helped to this day.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And with that, guys, I'm speaking from personal experience because I am a fan of the Don't Blink podcast. This is not a thing about, I've referenced Don't Blink podcast prior on this show before Two Nights was here.
Thank you.
So it has nothing to do with him being here. As a person that follows a lot of podcasts, theirs is one of the better ones in Miami for sure. Right. So if you're listening to a Miami podcast and want to get to know Miami people in the most unique way or form of fashion, Don't Blink podcast is the way to go. And you learn something from every episode just as much as I hope you guys learn from this one, because their podcast was part of the inspiration for this podcast.
Damn.
And I've mentioned that multiple times. And so I don't want people to be like, oh, I'm just saying that because the guest is here. No, that's been referenced several times. Their podcast gave me the influence to do this one. It's the backbone to what this podcast is. And they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And I imitate from the people that are doing it before me because I think that there's no better way to do it, right? If their podcast works, I say, how do we build off that? How do we do something similar to that imitates that greatness that they've already have captured? So
Damn.
I say
Thank
that
you.
with true words, that not only just the brand and not just what I see you do, the podcast has been a great inspiration for this platform as well. And I've watched out of the 90-something, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I've watched all 90.
Nah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a
but
lot.
I've watched at least 60 episodes. Guaranteed.
Damn, 69.
Guaranteed.
You gotta get that
Because,
69.
my subscriber will show the history that I've watched majority of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I've learned from all of them just as much as. And now that he says that, I want to go back and see if I've watched the Shannon Briggs one.
Bruh.
Because it touched me just seeing how you got about it. It
Bruh.
touched me, yeah.
It's game changing. He's
And I'm not sure if I watched it, but
Bruh,
if I didn't,
heavyweight-
I got to watch it.
Heavyweight champion of the world, bro. Like being able to travel with him, being able to do what we've been able to do. My thing is just like, bro, that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was like 7 years ago to be able to have a platform. No, wait. Before the platform. To be able to still be alive.
Yeah.
Let's just go to the skin of it. To still be able to be alive, survive a pandemic, create a platform with a team of individuals that are like-minded, and then have him come and drop what he dropped
Drop the knowledge.
in the midst of, building confidence, finding myself, believing in myself, blah, 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 and everybody else doing it too. I absorb the energy and the message from the podcast that I hope and I encourage my team to also.
Yeah.
Because if you're here you're here purposely here to listen to this,
Yeah.
to experience this, to shake hands, to take pictures, to maximize the opportunity to vibe off what we've been able to do. You know what I mean? That particular episode, it was heart touching for me, and just like every other episode, bro. So, but for you to say that right now it's amazing, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. And this is,
bro.
guys,
It's never too late.
this is where we're going to wrap it up.
Oh,
Never
man.
too late.
Do we gotta go? Can we get
Yeah.
extended hours? Let me call them right quick.
We're in time already.
Oh my god.
1 o'clock. So
All right, we're gonna go to history makers. This got to extend.
I appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
I hope Too Nice inspired somebody out there as much as I would like for him to. If you haven't yet, purchase the merch. Everything's going to be in the description box down below. So we're going to have his website, his Instagram. If you want to get in touch with him, if you want to purchase the merch and support, like as you should be supporting.
Fashion for greatness.
Don't Blink Podcast is going to be in there as well. The links in the description. Everything is going to be in there. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I hope somebody got touched and inspired by this episode as much as I did. I learned something. Jay Ramirez right here in the background.
Oh, he's going to come on the show.
This for me was a history maker episode because I never shot with this many people back here. So
you got the world famous Plátano in the building, you know what I'm saying?
Plátano in the building.
We got DJ Rex in effects.
DJ
you know
Rex.
Production.
Everybody made me nervous, bro. I was trying not to look that way for the whole entire episode. But I appreciate you guys. Too nice. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part. And I want to, before I close this out, I want to say that you are not just only an inspiration to the people that follow your social media, but to me as well. And I'm glad that I got you here to tell your story and to talk about everything, because I want you to know that whether you haven't heard it from many people, you're an inspiration to me, right? The Don't Big podcast, the History Makers, has been an inspiration for me to do this. I'm doing this right now because of people like you and Yuli. And maybe I don't get to tell you guys that all the time, or because I don't, we're just getting to know each other. But I'm happy that I get to tell you right now that from the bottom of my heart, you are an inspiration to what I'm doing. And I know that I'm speaking for the people that haven't contacted you yet, that you're an inspiration for them. And I hope that the people that want to tell you that, I'm here to tell them in behalf of them. And I hope you guys reach out to him to tell him if he is inspiring you. If you watch this and he did inspire you, please reach out to him and inspire you, because this man puts a lot of work into what he does, not just in the History Makers, not just in the music, not just in the art, in the Don't Blink, in the Its Own, in everything as a brand. He puts a lot of work and emphasis, and I'm hoping to attain that or reach that point at some time. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you for coming.
Damn, thank you, man.
I just want to let you know that you are an inspiration to me. At a minimum, you're an
Look
inspiration.
at that. Even the microphone want to give you a kiss.
Agreed, yeah.
Because the microphone's inspired. You know what I'm saying?
So,
it's like, give me a kiss, daddy.
I thank you. All right?
Oh, damn. Thank you so much, man. And I mean, it's a blessing to be here. You know what I mean? It's a blessing to be here. And I'm just another God, you know what I'm saying? Another one of God's creators out here, you know what I'm saying? Just rocking and rolling and trying to live purposely. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what I've been able to find throughout this journey, is like purpose into what I'm doing and inspiring, bro. That's the magic.
Yeah.
That's the magic. That's the real magic. And then even in simplifying, focusing, and executing in us as humans, like we can inspire millions. Let's start by doing one. Because once you do one, then you do two, then you do three, then you do four. And then eventually with consistency and purpose, you'll be able to touch the world. And anybody watching, if there's anything that we didn't touch on, if there's anything that you have questions like, oh my God, but why if you leave a comment, I would make sure to reply to you on the comment on this episode.
Yeah.
To answer anything and reply to anything that you want answered, anything that we missed. And I'm willing to go up and beyond to the next level. You heard?
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is another episode of Flavor in Your Ear, Season 2, Episode 3. Appreciate you guys. We out.